to thank you for stumbling onto my channel. We have a good one for you today. Mainstream entertainment. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for joining in. Today, we're going to be designing a 9/11 t-shirt that I have been commissioned to design. So without any further ado, let's get into it. We're going to be using Adobe Illustrator, and I'm going to be showing you how to turn any image into a vector image so you can make them as big or as small as you want when designing a t-shirt. So let's open up Illustrator. Let's get a new project going. Artboard, 8.5 by 11 inches. We're going to be on a pretty big t-shirt here. I've already got my images. Let me go ahead and bring them in. Again, these are just images that I got offline. Again, we're going to be vectoring them. So we just want the basic outline of the image so that we can make them as big or as small as we want. And it's going to kind of look almost like an oil painting when we're done. All right, so let me go ahead and bring in my second images so I can have all my images in the same project, because it just makes it easier. We're going to be taking this and copying our picture onto our main artwork. So let's go ahead and make this a vector file. You want to select your image, go down up to Objects, come down to Image Tracing, and you just want to make it. Don't expand it yet, just make it. Okay, now you want to bring out your image tracing panel. Okay, and we're going to change this to Outline with Source image. Okay, so that's going to give you a nice outline of your image, but we want to get the full outline of the image. Reason why we use this instead of a pen is because it gets more details when you want to come down to the color section, which I'll show you that in a little bit later. But right now you're going to be playing with these until you get exactly what you want, which is the main outline of the image. All right, you don't want too much. It's going to give you too much work. Okay, so now we're getting closer to what we want. You see how we have the outline here? Now we're going to do a little final checkup and expand on this. So now we'll be able to separate everything layer by layer. So expand. And now we have our vectored image that we can do with as we please. But now we have to ungroup all of these expanded layers so that we could separate them one by one. So you click on the whole thing, highlight the whole thing, and ungroup. Right click on a PC, press ungroup. Okay, so now they're all separated. We go down to the layers tab and we can see everything is still highlighted. So once we unhighlight everything, you can now click on this background, because I don't want this background, right? So I can click the background, go find it in the layers part. You should see a little blue sign is on, and that's the current selected layer. And if you don't want to be destructive, you can just turn it off. And now you have your fully vectored image without the background. All right, so we're going to save this image and move on to our next one. For this one, we're going to go through the same process as we just did with the eagle. Okay, so you want to have your image selected. Go down to image source and expand it or make it. And again, you're going to try to do the same thing. Get a good selection, outline selection of your image. And through the magic of internet TV, we are going to speed this up for you because we have already showed you this process. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and expand it and start deleting layers that we do not want in the picture, which is pretty much the whole background. Okay, so now that we have everything expanded, remember everything is still grouped together now. So we have to unselect everything and then select the whole picture again. And now we're going to right click on the mouse, come down to ungroup, and we're going to ungroup everything. So now everything is on its own individual path. Okay. So now to start finding, remember, just find the one that you want to delete. Deselect everything. Click on the group that you want. Make sure just what you want to delete is highlighted. And go ahead and find a little blue dot that says it's on for that section in your layers panel. I might be scrolling a little bit too fast, but it's here. Okay, and you would continue just like that until you get the image that you want. Me, I'm going for removing the whole background and probably some of this waterfront area in the beginning. So through the magic of internet TV, we are going to speed my process up. So see how we're just removing the background little by little. We do a little fine tuning until we get the image that we want. I'm probably going to take out some of the ocean in the front too. And we'll have a nice, clean, vectored image. Give me 1 second. All right, so now we have New York City with a nice clean background, and it's already expanded. So now we're going to go to our next picture, our eagle, and we are going to duplicate this and put it onto our main artboard and start getting our draft design going. You want to press Control. Well, first you want to highlight the whole image and then press Control, hold it down and drag your image until you get the double. And then we're going to take this double and we're going to drag it onto our main artboard and we can start designing our draft 9/11 t-shirt. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to do the same thing with our New York City image. We're going to highlight the whole image. We're going to click Control and drag the image till we get a double. Now we're going to take this double and bring it onto our main artboard. So I did mess up here real quick. I just want to go ahead and show you. You want to make sure you have them on separate layers. You don't want them to be on the same layer. So I'm going to go ahead and undo this, remove the city from here. And I'm going to go ahead and put a new layer down and I'm going to copy the city onto There we go. Now everything is separated by its own layer, and it's just going to make editing from here on a lot more easier, especially when you have to do. Okay, so now it's just coming down to the design and looks wise how I want the eagle to fit in behind the New York City skyline. So we're going to speed this process up until we get to the next process. All right, I think I like the way that looks. Now for the last part, we're going to pull in our last image, which is the American flag. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a image trace, and then we're going to expand it. This one's going to be a little bit easier. It's not as much details to it, so we don't have to spend as much time on it, but we're still going to speed it up. Okay, so now we want to make a copy of it and bring it onto our main artboard. Remember, make sure it has its own layer that is sitting on its own layer, okay? So that you have a lot more control over it. And once we do that, because I'm trying to put this flag inside of the eagle's wings, so everywhere you see the eagle's wings, you're actually going to be seeing the flag instead of the wings, which is something I think is pretty dope, right? So the first thing we want to have to do is we're going to have to make the eagle's wings a mask. And then we are going to have to fill the mask with the flag. So there's two things we have to do right now. So first, let's highlight just the portion of the eagle that's going to give us just the wings. Okay. You have that highlighted. Make sure you double check on your layers tab that is all that's going to control. And then you click make a mask. Right? Cool. Okay. Leave this like this. This is done. Now we have to go to our flag. Okay. Now we have to make the flag a pattern in our swatch lists. Okay. So here's how you turn an image into a pattern. Okay, so now you just want to go over to your flag layers tab, click on the whole flag, and we're going to go to our objects menu, and we're going to go to pattern, and you're going to want to click make. Okay, now what this is going to do is bring it up in a separate kind of design screen. Okay, and here you can kind of design it and fine tune exactly where you want the flag to be. Keep in focus this middle section here because that is going to be your image. So however the flag looks there, that's how it's going to look in your patterns. Anything outside of that, it'll be kind of like duplicated. But we won't be able to see that anyway. We're just going to be working with the centerpiece, so I'm not going to change any of that. Just click done. Oh, okay. Name your pattern so that you have a name for it in your swatch list. I'm just going to do something retardedly simple here. Flag. And click done. Okay. And as you can see now, when you look through your list of patterns, you have a flag. And now you go back to your eagle and we click our outside frame of our eagle, highlight that, and we go to our fill section. Fill it with our flag. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go. All right, so now we're going to get into some basic design and positioning of our rough draft. So we're going to go ahead and speed this process up for you because you don't have to suffer through it again.
Fear me just because I'm in control of my own destiny. Show your control by ordering your shirt today.
You like that? Go ahead and get you one of your shirts now.
Represent being awakened.
Okay, now it's time to get some words in here. I think we want to try to do more like an implied t-shirt. I don't want to actually put 9/11 on it. So since this is the 20th anniversary, I am going to put a big 20th behind the eagle. See what that looks like. As always, let's go ahead and speed up the design flow of this because this is just artistic look and you guys can design where you want to put your own text in your own t-shirt design. And like I said, this is a rough draft. It was mainly all in my head. And this is why you see a lot of, I don't like it there, I don't like it here. Kind of still deciding as I'm creating this shirt how I want it to look. So this is why we just speed through this process because this is all my no. Let's change it back. Let's go back this way. No, All right. Get to peek into my mind a little bit. Do your fine tuning here. Clean up stuff when you can. All right, so we've added our 20th behind the eagle. Now we're going to try and put some text along the bottom part where the river used to be, and we'll keep going. We're almost done there, almost to the finish line. Hang in there just a little bit longer. Okay, so now it's time to put some text along the bottom. I think we're going to try and make it follow a line. So I have my text on a line pattern. 9/11 will never forget. Still trying out a couple different phrases here. Phrases, not really positive what I'm going to stick with. But right now, while I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put on this line and the text style I am going to use, this is what it's going to say until I figure that out. Now, I'm not going to make you go through the whole process of watching me figure that out. Let's speed it up. Mainstream entertainment, an affordable Hollywood studio. Whether your project is big or small, we're making it easy for filmmakers, photographers, and content creators to call us home. So go get creative, then come book with us. Mainstream entertainment, what will you create? Okay, so this is now my final outcome. This is it. This is what's going to print. I had to take a break and just stop designing. Sometimes you just have to take a break. Otherwise, if something's going wrong, you're going to keep trying to fix it. And next thing you know, you're going to end up with a bucket of blah. So we stopped designing. We took a break for a day. We came back. And we kept with the same thought pattern, but we did a little bit of redesigning. That's it. Not too much of a difference, right? But this is what's going to print. Okay. So printer-wise, we are going to be using my Epson Workforce 7710 printer. It's a good printer because it prints all the way from very small to your business cards, or it could print all the way up to that 11 by 17 size. A couple of recommendations when you are printing with this. It does tend to use up a lot of ink when you're printing onto inkjet transfer paper. So I suggest if you have a big job, to have extra ink cartridges on hand. It's nothing worse than running out of ink cartridges in the middle of a job and you can't get any more until tomorrow morning when the store opens. So make sure you have extra ink cartridges on hand. All right. Now we are going to be printing onto the McLaren inkjet transfer paper, and we're going to be using on white clothing, and we're going to be using it for dark clothing. So there's two different types of inkjet paper to buy, for light clothing and for dark clothing. Okay, Now, this is the McLaren I'm using for white paper, and you notice it says I need to mirror this. I wrote that on the box because I want to remind myself to mirror these images. I promise you, you're going to save yourself a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of ripped heat transfer papers if you just mirror the image when you're printing on white t-shirts. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and mirror it for our light clothing. Remember, you have to mirror it. So let's go ahead and do that in Adobe Illustrator. Just select the whole thing and just rotate it. And that's it. Now we're going to go ahead and go to print. And remember, for these heat transfer paper, you can use the dark clothing transfer on white or dark clothing. Typically, or pro tip, I like to use the dark clothing on my white clothes because, for one, the paper is a little bit stiffer, and it's a little bit more stretchier, and it just feels a lot more durable. The one that's made for light clothing is very, very thin. Now, reading their instructions, it's going to tell you, do not mirror it. You have to bend one of the corners of your heat transfer paper back and forth until it peels away from the paper. Now, I've tried this over and over and over again, and I've gotten some to peel. But out of the ones I've gotten to peel, let's say out of 10, 7, I still rip the image halfway through just because it is paper thin. So you can go ahead and not mirror it and try to get it off of there. Hopefully you made a whole lot of extra ones, or you're just really good at peeling them off and I really suck. But I literally tried forever. But for now, I give up. Look, it's trying to peel, but again, you still have this whole page to go.
GIGGSTER, the #1 go-to spot for location managers and scouts. If you have a cool location, or you have a studio, or a warehouse, or a stadium, or just open space, in space, you want to get more bookings, host it on GIGGSTER. Who knows, it could be your spot in the next blockbuster movie. But you never know unless you host it. GIGGSTER, a better way to book locations. Stop waiting and start hosting with GIGGSTER. So when you have black shirts, what you have to do, you always have to do a pre-press, okay? You always have to do a pre-press. Why? So that you get rid of all of the discolorations because there's moisture in the shirt. So you want to get rid of that before you press it. Otherwise, you're going to have that nasty heat press. All right? So get rid of that first. Count to about 5 in your head and then let it up. Right. So how I measure these, little trick, put the neck right in the middle. Okay, 1 second. Do a little lint roll. All right, go. Okay, so remember, this is the one for dark clothing, okay? Yeah, I have to do a test print, so I have prints on both sides. Don't worry about that. So you want to bend the corners, like that, like that. All right? Then, now like I said, only for the dark clothes does this actually come off pretty easily. The white one, it's a pain in the butt. Okay, so now you want to peel this off. All right, very, very slowly. Now imagine the white one being half for a white garment or a light garment, half as thin as this, and trying to peel this thing off of here. Right? But like I said, you can go ahead and use this one for white or dark clothes. Like I said, I actually like to use it better because it is thicker and it is more stretchy. All right, that's it. Peels right off. Okay, put that to the side. What I like to do is from the collar, usually about 4 fingers. Right? Put that right there, just like that. Okay. All right. Now we add the other paper. This wax paper helps the colors pop a little bit. This, there we go. Press it down. And we let it go for 15 seconds. Clock is right there. And sorry, I tried to do a little custom body work there. Didn't really work out. All right, 1, 2, 3, up. Okay. Just get something to press it in. Okay. Take it off while it's hot. And voila. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick stretch, let it go back. All right, look at that, see?
Nice, stretchy. Oh. There we go. That's it. That's how it's done. From start to finish. You guys watch me make it, put them together. Oh, this sounds a little bit bigger and large. Okay. Bam. Okay. So this is one I messed up on. That's blue on the background. Now, they say you don't have to mirror these ones either, but like I said, you want to save time, save money, I would go ahead and mirror it because this thing, you saw how easy it was to come off on the other one. This one does not, it does not do it at all. All right? Then when it does, all right, I'll have time to try and do every one of these and try to show you. Like, just take my word for it. It just does not come off of here. All right? It doesn't. I'm like, oh, I think we got it. Might got it. Do we got it? Come on. Come on. Come on. No, it's not gonna work. All right, anyway, doesn't work. Okay? I can't do it. I've been sitting here for like 10 minutes trying to get it off of there. You know, I don't have time for that, okay? So, whatever. Does not work. But, if you take this, same thing, right? 4 fingers, that right there. All right? All right. This does work. And it works a lot easier than their instructions. Trust me, I went through a lot of t-shirts and aggravation trying to do it their way. And I just said, I'm gonna do it my way. All right. Press. Okay. Now, don't even look red. Come on. 1 second. See a little bit. One more time. One more time. One more time. I think this one has to be a cold peel. It's hot here. go. Last one. Gotta do the wax maybe some lines. Let's see. We're just gonna set it on there. We're not gonna like really press it. Just gonna set it on there. Close it. Couple seconds. All right. Oops. And popped out a little bit. Stretch it a little bit. Let it go back. There we go. This is it on white. All right. Like that. And that's it. That's all she wrote, folks. Thank you for watching.
Final thoughts. It's never going to be perfect, so just do it. Just stop making excuses as to why you can't or what's prolonging you, and just do it. Start now. Peace. Mainstream Entertainment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, tell a friend, and we'll catch you on the next one. Mainstream Entertainment.